Welcome back to another TCR interviews. This time we are joined by AKM and OGE of the Dallas Fuel. We're here in New York. We were talking before we started the interview that this is all of our first times here. So far you guys are enjoying the city?
Yeah, so far it's like a pretty nice city. Like New York is known for like its building, Times Square and everything. So we've been to Times Square yesterday and it was great. Like it's great seeing all those buildings like publicity, like billboards and stuff. So like it's a nice city so far. It's really humid, but it's a nice city.
It is kind of like the movies. I don't know what I was expecting because the movies show everything and then you're here and you're like, it feels like you've been here before.
Yeah, I had the exact same thought. Like, oh, the white, the yellow cabs, like the buildings, like everything is like the same. So I feel like I've been here before, like you said, but it's still nice to see by my own eyes.
I wanted to talk to you guys about primarily the Dallas Fuel. We'll look towards season 2 and everything towards the end, but I want to get your thoughts from the first ever season for Overwatch League and how the Dallas Fuel performed. Now, neither of you were part of the team in Stage 1, so I'm curious if you can recall back then, Stage 1 you had XQC being suspended the majority of the time. Did you have any doubts going into it, or what were your thoughts of the team?
I knew they were struggling really hard, and I knew they had internal issues. I didn't know it was gonna be for that long, for like 2 more stages when I joined. I thought I could help them when I joined. We struggled even more when I joined, so it was not easy. But like when I joined, I knew the players had potential, and I knew that they've been winners before, so I knew we could win again with them. It's all about dedication, hard work, and just like being patient and just work with each other to make it work. And that's what we did in Stage 4, and like we did great Stage 4.
And we will talk about Stage 4 because it was completely opposite on how you guys performed throughout the year and everything. But with Stage 2, that's when both you and OGE, you guys joined the team, so you got a chance to kind of feel it out. Again, though, you had issues with, XQC being suspended. OGE yourself had to serve a suspension. Is that difficult joining a team under those conditions? I mean, how did that affect the relationship building with Stage 2 starts and boom, new teammates, and then they're suspended?
It was tough on everyone because we knew we had tanks, but since they were like suspended, like what do we do? And changing tanks over and over and over for Mickey who was off tank, like it was pretty hard on him. He's always changing his playstyle. He's always trying to adapt to the new tanks we have in. So like it's pretty tough to like adapting to a new tank every single time, and it's not easy.
Looking through then going to Stage 3, this is where we're starting to see a little bit more meta change. Brigitte, the patch is in, but she's not available to play or anything, but people can kind of see going forward how things are going to play out. You're starting to see less dive meta. Was that something that the Fuel struggled was in the dive meta? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think it's been known that even back in Envious, when they were Envious, they were struggling in dive. I don't know what was the problem of our dives, but we were really bad at it. When Brigitte came out, like we were actually really happy because we knew it was our opportunity to take over the meta kinda, and that's what we did. Like we played our own play style. We tried to play our own game basically, and that's what works really well for us because it was a perfect meta. Like I wish the meta turned out like that way earlier, but it only happened Stage 4. So we gained our confidence back, we gained everything back, and that was a great thing for us because dive was not our thing.
And speaking of not your thing, it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was between Stage 2 and 3, you started playing more Genji. And I think that was a direct try to catching up with the dive meta. Public perception is that you somewhat struggled playing as Genji, and I think you even admitted that it wasn't really your strong suit going in. That wasn't really why the team recruited you was to play Genji. Playing an off hero that you're not normally used to, would you say in retrospect that helped solidify your player pool on what you can play, or did it end up hurting kind of your outlook on what you should be able to play?
I think it kind of hurted me in a way, just because. So basically, I was trying to fill a role I was not supposed to play. I got brought to be a hit scan specialist, but since we had internal issues, I had to fill in. I had to be the guy who tries to help the team for the better of everyone. But it kind of hurt me because instead I had to practice Genji, which I'm not bad at, by the way, but it was I don't have any experience, so I was not doing great, obviously. But like since I was like practicing Genji, I couldn't practice my own heroes like Widowmaker, which is like a hero where you need to play like 24/7. You need to play constantly, like grinding the game on Widow, and I couldn't play her. So that means I fell so far back. Everyone else was like playing all the time, and when I got to play Widow stage 4, well, I could see that I was like behind everyone because I couldn't practice it at all, and I like just a few weeks was not enough for me to catch back on everyone else. So yeah, I don't think it was a good thing for me to like feel in like I was being a good teammate, but for me as a player, it was really bad for me. It was a bad decision.
Stage 3 is where we also saw a lot of mix-up just with the team and its future direction. You had former coach ChiChi being released, Rascal was released, Custa was traded. Inside of the team, inside the locker room, if you want to say, what was your mentality for Stage 3? Because typically with normal sports is when you start seeing trades and releases, that's when you can say, okay, they're turning the page to next season.
Well, I think they were trying to do changes because like everything was going so bad. And Stage 3, I think it was our worst stage by far. We think we only won 1 game out of 10. So like we were kind of hoping when we did all the trades that things were gonna get better. I think OGE actually came at stage 2. He was suspended like two games, but he was like gonna be there for the rest of the games. But I don't know. It was once again, even if we made changes, like dive was not a thing, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what happened, but like we did our worst stage so far when we did the changes, and like we were feeling really down after that stage.
OGE, is that kind of when you felt more comfortable with the team? AKM just said you weren't really able to play a whole lot in Stage 2. Was Stage 3 starting to kind of get your footing?
Did you feel confident in Stage 3?
Yeah, was your confidence building in Stage 3?
No, because like I have to speak English and I have to understand, but like before, like when I play Stage 3, I cannot understand. So and then we have like Effect, Lascar, but they think like we have to use like Korean harp, English harp. So I mean, sometimes like it's like so difficult for me because Winston is like very important is like communication, but Mickey and me have to use English, and then when we dive Lascar Genji or Effect Tracer, we have to use Korean. So I don't know, just Stage 3 is like just so hard for maybe from communication. Yes, and then Stage 4 is like better to change, but I mean I can understand English, and then everyone can speak English, and then communication now very, very perfect, and then so we got just where Stage 4.
So do you feel the same way on the opposite side where the DPS, it's just as important to understand who they're diving on or things like that? Does the language barrier also affect the rest of the team?
So what happened when Stage 3, like you was saying, is that since I was not playing at the time, it was like we are trying to like do a Korean dive with like OG, Rascal, and Effect. Mm-hmm. So what happened is that they were talking Korean in game, like to each other, because OG at that time couldn't really speak English, so it was easier for them. But it like kind of created like two teams in one team, which is a bad thing. And I think everyone should be on the same page. Even like if I want to dive, the team needs to know when they're diving and stuff. And it's like the language barrier was really really hard Stage 3, and I think it improved now because everyone can speak English kinda, everyone can understand each other. So like it's all about learning, and we learned that in Stage 3 that we should not have 2 teams in one team. It's like a really bad thing to do, and we should always like be on the same page. So we need to communicate like all together and not just 2 or 3 people.
As we mentioned before, ChiChi was released. From a player's perspective, do you think there was a lot of blame put on ChiChi from the outsider's view? Was that fair? I mean, was a lot of it his fault going in? Were some of the, for example, a lot of people are saying him playing you on Genji was all his fault. Was it fair for him to take as much of the blame as he did?
I mean, I don't think he deserves all the blame. I don't think he deserves any blame. Like your team is a team. Like if we don't succeed, it's not his fault. It's everyone's fault. And even if it's like maybe his job to take the blame, I don't think he deserves any hate like that, because I still think he's a good coach. I still think he's gonna succeed in whatever he's gonna do. for the record, is like it didn't force me to play Genji. I proposed because it was the only alternative we had. So I was like, okay, I'll play Genji if someone needs to. So it was not him forcing me to play Genji or anything. Of course, I would rather not play Genji, but someone had to. But yeah, I don't think it deserves any of the hate, any of the blame. But it's just like unfortunate situation.
So what was it about stage 4 then that completely changed the way the team was playing? I mean, by far it was your best stage. You guys ended up in second place and into the stage playoffs. In between, though, you did have the meta change, right? Forgetto was introduced. The dive meta took a step back. It wasn't as prominent as ahead. You guys had Arrow as a coach. There was a lot of things that changed. So I'm curious, what was it that you think affected the team the most in a positive way?
I think what happened is that since he made that change and we knew it was not dive anymore, for some reason we just got our confidence back. And actually Aero, when he came into the team, he brought a lot of like confidence on us. He was like, okay guys, maybe we were really bad the last three stages, but this stage we're gonna do great. We're gonna go to playoffs. Like, so he brought this really high confidence when he came into the team, and it like kinda gave like his confidence back to us, especially since like the meta was new. So we had no expectation from anyone. Now we were super low in the rankings, and like we couldn't go further down. We can only go up. So we just grinded. We got our confidence back, and that's where everything happened. Like we started winning games, and the more we won in scrims, the more confidence we were getting. It all started from that. Just we got our confidence back, and everything like went our way.
What was the team's attitude when Effect said, hey, I'm going to go home for stage 4 and I'll be back next season?
I think everyone was supportive because we don't want a player to feel really bad or like to feel upset about anything. We need to support his decision if he needs to go back because he has to go back. We'll all support him, and we're going to do everything we can to make him feel better, and we're going to welcome him back when he's coming back. But yeah, we were all supportive and we respected his decision.
So looking at season 2, you're going to start seeing a little bit more home and away talk going on. You guys will probably finally be able to find a place in Dallas to stay. What are you looking forward to when it comes to home and away or not just being in LA? I will say Dallas is a little different than LA. It's a little hotter.
It's really hot in Dallas. Stage 2, I'm pretty sure we're going to stay in LA for all season. I think it's gonna be nice for us to have like our own place at Dallas still, because the whole Dallas Fuel and Envy staff is over there, so they're gonna take really good care of us, and I'm really looking forward to that actually, because the only few things I've seen from Dallas, it was a really great city. So if we get to live there, I think I'll like it much more than Los Angeles actually.
If you had to pick one thing to change from season 1, whether it be about the game, about the league, what is it that you guys would like to see be different for season 2 of Overwatch League?
I think the schedule. The schedule is really tough on players. I think they need to change that just because. So basically, a player right now is playing in Overwatch League. He's playing 24/7. Well, he has to sleep obviously, but if you want to win, you need to grind all the time, and you have no free time. Like that's why so many people have burnt out. Like they're burning out because they don't have free time. They have to play all the time. They have so much stress on them because we don't have, like, the schedule is tough. That's why, like, all those young players that like never been doing this before, they're burning out. Like they're filled by stress, and like they're nervous, and they're trying their best, and then like they don't have time to relax. They don't have time to like have their own head like somewhere else. And I don't know. For me, like 100% the schedule, and hopefully they'll change that next year.
Is there any talk on who's going to play Hammond or Wrecking Ball?
I have no idea.
OGE? Is that you?
I don't know, maybe Mickey?
Yeah, if I had to guess, it would be off thanks to Mickey.
Yeah, it seems like his Mickey would probably suit him better, just given that he's used to Diva flying in and playing crazy. And I have one other question here, branching off of you guys eventually making the move to Dallas. All right, like I said, lifestyle is different from LA. Who would be the one player on the Dallas Fuel to embrace the cowboy lifestyle? I'm talking cowboy hat, riding a horse, the whole bit.
I don't know why, but I can see Harry doing it. I have
Really?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who buy hats and stuff. So I think I think he will do it.
Okay, fair enough. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, especially I mean, you guys have been to the watching or not, the little meet and greet in Dallas. You said you guys are going to be, is it Sunday? You're flying back to Dallas?
Yeah, at Gamestop we have a Gamestop fan meeting on Sunday, so we'll go there and enjoy the time there.
Okay, excellent. So I know everyone, all the fan base in Dallas is definitely looking forward to having you guys in town, even if it's just for a meet and greet, or especially when you guys are based in there. I think you're going to really be surprised on the home field, right? The home field advantage that you see in Overwatch. I think it will be interesting too because, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never been to the LA arena, it seems a little bit too friendly. Like, no one hates any team, right? Like, even when Dallas and Houston plays, it's such a friendly rivalry. Yeah. Where I feel like when you get the home and away, you're going to get the Dallas fans booing Houston when they're in town and actually cheering for them losing.
Yeah, it's pretty friendly. I think even the only good real rivalry is like us against Houston and then Los Angeles against Los Angeles, the two cities. That's the only two rivalries. But yeah, like we said, it's like pretty friendly. It's like
everyone's just happy to be there.
Yeah, everyone's having a good time. So you cannot blame them too. But maybe in time, like we're gonna have like real rivalries with like real like fans like clashing each other and stuff. It would be fun. Like I love these things. So I hope it happens.
Well, guys, hey, I thank you again for joining me on this interview. I know you gotta get back to the arena. I do myself. So again, thank you again, AKM and OGE of the Dallas Fuel, and I will see you guys later.